Welcome back to Velshine Rule, happening now on Capitol Hill. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg testifying before Congress. Today, it's about Libra. Libra is his site's embattled plan for a global digital currency.
Now, I believe that this is something that needs to get built, but I get that I'm not the ideal messenger for this right now. We've faced a lot of issues over the past few years, and I'm sure there are a lot of people who wish it were anyone but Facebook who were helping to propose this. But there's a reason that we care about this, and that's because Facebook is about putting power in people's hands. I actually don't know if Libra is going to work, but I believe that it's important to try new things, and as long as you're doing so responsibly.
Trying new things, including that haircut, but members of the House Financial Services Committee also used the time to grill him over Facebook's scrutinized political ads policy.
Are you telling me, I think as you said to me before, you plan on doing no fact-checking on political ads?
Our policy is that we do not fact-check politicians' speech, and the reason for that is that we believe that in a democracy, it is important that people can see for themselves what politicians are saying.
Do you fact-check on any ads at all?
Yes.
Describe what you fact-check on.
Well, Chairwoman, actually, thank you for the opportunity to clarify. Facebook itself actually does not fact check.
Joining me now, Washington Post tech policy reporter and MSNBC technology contributor Tony Romm, and marketing professor at the NYU School of Business, Scott Galloway. Also, Scott is a podcaster to the stars. Tony, I know that's not what today's hearing was about, but let's talk about that questioning for a moment between Maxine Waters and Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg said, Maxine Waters saying, is it your policy that you don't fact check these ads? And Mark Zuckerberg responding, this is our policy. It is Facebook's policy because they're allowed to make that their policy. Shouldn't the question be to the lawmakers, to Maxine Waters? He doesn't have any rules, so he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I think this is a lot of the criticism you're seeing from Democrats, not just at this hearing today, but across the spectrum, including 2020 candidates who think that Facebook should take a more aggressive hand and it should begin to fact check political ads. And remember why we're here. It's because President Trump's campaign had run an ad including falsehoods about former Vice President Joe Biden. The Biden campaign asked to have that removed, and Facebook said no. And so this has just fueled more suspicions that Facebook isn't ready for the 2020 election. 4 years after Russian agents spread disinformation on the site. And it was one of many issues that came up at this really wide-ranging hearing that we're watching today.
Scott, are we misguided? You and I have talked about this dozens of times, what Facebook should do, what Mark Zuckerberg should do. But you and I both have children. Our children would never, ever, ever do their homework unless we force them to do it. So is it not rich to watch these lawmakers grill Mark Zuckerberg about what he should do when they're the ones who can set the rules?
Yeah, you're 100% right. We keep hoping that the better angels of Mark Zuckerberg are going to show up, and we keep finding out that they, in fact, are AWOL. Meanwhile, there is an Honesty in Political Advertising Act that, unfortunately, the Senate, Mitch McConnell refuses to let come to a vote. So at the end of the day, I mean, I hate to say this, but Mark Zuckerberg is doing his job, and that is delaying and obfuscating any attempt to get in the way of a supernova business strategy. Until we regulate these issues, until we create some downside, until someone, quite frankly, gets fined to the extent it actually hurts their earnings, or, God forbid, someone actually gets put in jail, you're going to continue to see, quite frankly, a lot of delay and obfuscation and just outright falsehood. So you're right. It's up to the parents here, and the parents are lawmakers.
So at the end of the day, headlines across the board, lawmakers grilling Mark Zuckerberg. Is it anything more than a show? Facebook, probably just like any other day, is going to make their cool $110 million today, Scott, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I do think, though, the market has spoken here, and that as regulators from all over the world have said, well, if there's three key steps to tyranny. The first is you get control of the media, then you get control of the money, then you get control of the military. And people look at Facebook's impact on the world of media and say that hasn't worked out so well. Do we really want to give them control over the money or become the default currency? So to a certain extent, I think the market is having a correct reaction here. And I believe Libra was dead on arrival. Regardless of what does or does not happen today, Libra is not going to ever launch, I don't believe. You're already seeing abandonment by big corporations. Regulators all over the world are justifiably very anxious about this. So I think a lot of this is moot, Stephanie. I think Libra was dead on arrival. A great idea, just shouldn't be from Facebook, who nobody trusts.
All right, Scott, Tony, thank you so very much. Amazing. They decide to get in the Libra game at a time like this. Scott, Tony, thank you. My partner, Ali Velshi, do I have you?
That is a great conversation. I enjoyed that. Those are two of the smartest guys on this topic.
But don't you find it stunning, Ali? It's up to the lawmakers to change the rules. I'm not saying Mark Zuckerberg is good, bad, or otherwise, but what he is currently doing is living and existing and thriving within the rules. I know you and I both agree that these rules should be changed because Facebook is not a platform, it's a publisher.
Yep.
But it's literally like parents screaming at their children for failing their tests when they never made them actually go to school.
But we're in the Wild West at the moment of this, and we will have laws at some point. But as you and I know, as people who study business, you got to get this right? You can't. What you don't want to do is break the internet in the process. But you want to deal with all these problems that are being created by social media.
But Ali, aren't you tired of saying it's the Wild West? Facebook has been a mega behemoth for years. The company is over 10 years old. I said they make $110 million a day. I'm so sick and tired of saying they're new, they're disruptors, it's the Wild West. Time to get your lasso.
The Wild West part that I'm talking about is that the laws aren't in place to solve them. So people can come in, stake their claim, do what they want. Until we put laws in, it doesn't change the. I think you and I are on the same side of this. That we need laws to govern this conversation.
So I'm saying, hey, lawmakers, get on your horse and pick up your lassos.
Totally
Let's go.
Hey, MSNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there and click on any of the videos here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. You can get more MSNBC for free every day with our newsletters. Just visit msnbc.com/newsletters to sign up now.